You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it is Friday the 13th of September, ooh, scary, 2024, and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer.
But I'm sure absolutely nothing can go wrong with the podcast today. Oh, I appear to have jinxed it, never mind.
Reg, can you reset the computer, please? I sound
Thank you. Right. Yes, so very, very pleased. That's going to really confuse viewers of the live stream, but never mind. I'm really happy today because I managed to get chapter 36 edited. That's it, basically. End of podcast. Bye. Thank you for listening. No, I didn't think this was going to get done today because I didn't manage to do anything yesterday. I thought it might be a little bit too much of a tall order to get all of the screen edit and the paper edit done in one day. And the other thing I wanted to get done today, which was to finish off my spare room and all the stuff with a loft. I have sacrificed that because that's the other thing I did want to do today, but I can do that after my trip to Chicago tomorrow, because I have finished chapter 36 and I'm actually pleased with it. There's speeches by politicians and stuff, when they've won a seat. It's kind of, bits of it definitely feel real. There's some lovely character moments and there's some unexpected character moments as well. So if you've been watching the live stream, you'll notice that having just prevented her from being executed by his former comrades, Ronnie and Private Vickers kind of have a little moment, which was absolutely not part of the plan. I didn't see that. Pardon the pun. I didn't see that coming. But that's fine because, as I've said elsewhere, they were meant to have had a liaison before the epilogue because she's very heavily pregnant in the epilogue. But it wasn't going to happen on page. Not that I've been explicit. I absolutely haven't. So I'm just, oh, wow. I feel a little bit exhausted, but I've done it. And today is podcast 127, and I'd set myself a deadline of podcast 132 to get this done. And so I'm 5 days ahead, although the reality is I'm working for the next 3 days. So I'll try and get something done of chapter 38. My goodness, chapter 38. I will try and get something of that done in the next 3 days, but we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, very, very happy. I even updated my blog today, which I'm quite impressed with. And I'm going to briefly talk about what I put on my blog. So today, one of the other things I did was I finished reading a rather interesting book weirdly, an app called Storygraph, which is the non-Amazon version of Goodreads. It recommended it to me. And it's called Paul Takes the Form of a Mortal Girl by a writer called Andrea Lawler. And, I'll read you the blurb. It's 1993, and Paul Polydorus tends bar at the only gay club in a university town, thrumming with politics and partying. But Paul's also got a secret. He's a shapeshifter. He transforms his body and his gender at will in a search for belonging and love that travels across America from Iowa City to San Francisco. I won't read the rest of it, but one of the reasons why, when it was recommended to me, I felt like I had to read it, was because I've got in my head an idea for a future project, and I needed to read this because superficially there appeared that there could be some similarities between what I intended to write and this book. So my story is about a shape-shifting demon that gets its, it gets its life energy from terrorising people. And the way it does it is it transforms itself into the ideal mate of a person, then gets with that person, and whilst they're having a little moment, not unlike the one that Ronnie and Vickers had, it tells them it's going to kill them. And yeah. So I was worried that the fact that I had a creature that was able to effectively change gender and its appearance to meet a specific individual's wants and desires, I worry that might be too similar to this, and it isn't. It's a very interesting little book. It's quite sexually explicit, which initially put me off, but once I started to understand that that the character kind of, I don't know if he's mistaken physical intimacy for love and friendship, but I think he certainly uses that instead of those things which he doesn't really have. And also he's very much he, whereas my demon will literally be he or she depending on the form that they've chosen. So I don't feel worried that this story, which is very good by the way, absolutely recommend it, I don't feel my idea treads on this in any way, and I won't worry that I'll get accused of plagiarism or anything. So that's good. Anyway, that's me done for today. I will be back in Chicago tomorrow. Oh, actually, no, I'll be at home when I do the podcast tomorrow because, but the day after I'll be in Chicago, and hopefully I will get a chance to do some writing when I'm there of chapter 38. So 37. Isn't that crazy? Because chapter 38 is the chapter of death, which I'm sort of looking forward to writing, but not. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my Linktree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.